I found my first gun when I was 9 years old, bro. Ever since then, like growing up, I was so addicted to them. I love them. It's death in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? All I gotta do is this motherfucker and your ass just disappeared.
After YNW Melly released Mixed Personalities, which featured none other than Kanye West, as well as other hits including Butter Pecan, Melly the Menace, Freddy Krueger, and the foreshadowing track Murder on My Mind, which at the time of this recording has garnered over 100 million views on YouTube.
And take sacrifices, you know what I'm saying? And take risk, you know? Just like, that's what I did. I sacrificed for Murder on My Mind.
After clocking in almost 700,000 followers on Instagram before his page was deleted, as well as 1.1 million subs on his YouTube channel, and another 168,000 followers on SoundCloud.
Leave me the fuck alone. Period. Leave me the fuck alone.
After YNW Melly was arrested and charged for murdering his two lifelong friends, YNW Sack Chaser and YNW Juvie.
The victims, Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas Jr., were dropped off at the hospital where they were pronounced dead.
It's eerie to think that only 2 months ago we did an entire Before They Were Famous on YNW Melly with his collaboration, including an interview. I wonder if at the time he actually had murder on his mind. He actually seemed like a quite pleasant dude. The Gifford, Florida-based rapper who started posting SoundCloud tracks under his legal name at the age of 15, well, he shockingly had a massive ascent to the top.
For somebody like as big as him to just do it, like everything for free, like.
He did it for, he didn't get charged nothing?
Nothing.
With all the opportunities a young talent could ever dream of, well, YNW Melly had gotten himself mixed up in some real-life tragedies. Now, after the murders of Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas Jr., well, the police, they initiated a month-long investigation. The police initiated a long investigation to find the people culpable for their deaths. Now, it wasn't until February 12, 2019, when Cortland Henry, who's known by his stage name of YNW Borland, well, he was the first person arrested and charged in connection of the deaths of two victims, YNW Sack Chaser and YNW Juvie. All of these members are part of the hip-hop collective YNW, and these lifelong friends, whose most prominent member, Mele, well, he would make a revealing social media announcement before turning himself over to the police. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Michael McCrudden, and today we're trying something a little different in a video titled After They Were Arrested. Now, in this video, I'll be putting together all the information that's hit the web or that we could dig up on YNW Melly and his recent arrest. Now, of course, this man, he is innocent until proven guilty. I'm no lawyer, I'm no judge, I'm no juror. But you can let me know what you think about this case in the comments down below. Now, if you want a more detailed story about his come up, be sure to check out his Before They Were Famous video. All right, let's get into After They Were Arrested. Hey, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell. Boom!
It was just mind-blowing. He had the most beautiful voice in kindergarten. Like, he could sing, and he was not shy, and he was dancing, and we were all just like, this little kid is... he's gonna be somebody.
YNW Melly has been in and out of jail on countless occasions. His first legal trouble started when he was only 16 years old. Just before 2:30 p.m. on October 19, 2015, well, Melly walked up towards a group of people near Vero Beach High School, and he fired a gun. And he was aiming at three young men aged between the ages of 17 and 20. I don't know why.
Another follow-up, a teenager has been arrested in Vero Beach after he fired shots near Vero Beach High School. It happened yesterday just before 2:30.
Now, Melly had a hard price to pay for this incident, being charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and 1 count of discharging a firearm in public. And he ended up in jail the following year. That was in 2016. Now, for this crime, he received a 1-year sentence. Now, you could say luck was on his side that day because he was initially facing up to 10 years. What still remains a mystery to this day is that his reasons for the incident, well, they're still unknown. Now, once in jail, Melly, he got into a couple of altercations leading to full-on fights, but his time behind bars, they weren't all unproductive. He was somehow inspired to write what is arguably his biggest hit to date.
I literally woke up in the jail cell and I like, wake up in the morning, I got murder on my mind.
As Melly details in his Genius interview, he woke up in his cell one morning with the melody and the famous line in his head. While locked up, he often kept to himself and didn't reveal his aspirations initially, but after being inspired to write Murder on My Mind, he opened up more to the idea of getting feedback from some of the inmates that he was growing close to. He eventually showed the tune to his cellmate, who was instantly impressed, and allegedly crowned Mele as his new favorite rapper. Mele recalls, "I showed him Murder on My Mind and he was like, bruh, I ain't gonna lie bruh, you're my favorite rapper now." On March 4, 2017, and after much anticipation, his track Murder on My Mind was officially uploaded to SoundCloud, and the audio was subsequently uploaded to his YouTube channel. In there he sings, "He grabbed me by my hand and said he was afraid to die. I told him it's too late, my friend, it's time to say goodbye. And he died inside my arms, blood all on my shirt." In hindsight, these lyrics are obviously haunting as it goes into great detail about imaginary murder. But at the time, well, fans, they thought nothing about it. And YNW Melly, well, he became an overnight success story. But it would become a contrasting pattern throughout his successful emerging rap career that an onslaught of legal troubles would follow him up until his recent arrest. On April 15, 2017, he made a Facebook post announcing that he was on home detention. And shortly after, on May 1st, which was coincidentally on his 18th birthday, well, he wrote, "I apologize to all my fans, I'll be locked up in a level 6 program for 6 months due to negative music. Just know I did it for y'all and I'll be back shortly." At the time, it was unclear as to why he was being locked up, but he later clarified in an interview that they had used Murder on My Mind to prosecute him for petty crimes. He stated, "I probably went to jail at least 6 or 7 times then. It was just for little shit too."
Murder on My Mind, the first song that got you hot was Murder on My Mind.
Yeah.
I had saw that you got in trouble for it, so you had to rename it Mischief, no?
Yeah, I went to jail for it.
As I mentioned earlier, despite all the legal troubles Mele had been facing, his music career was booming. He was signed to 100K Management in early December of that year, and despite being locked up, he made a joyous post to his Instagram followers announcing the achievement. Shortly after, he released his first EP called Collect Call, which featured Kodak Black's older brother, John Wicks. Fast forward to February of 2018, YNW Melly, he got out of jail and decided to make a move to Miami.
How you feel out here, living out here?
Like, calm and peaceful.
The law caught up to Mele once again on June 30th, 2018, when at 6:18 in the morning, him and his friend YNW Borland, they were arrested for marijuana possession as well as possession of a weapon or ammunition by a convicted felon. They were released the following day after posting bonds.
Ain't nobody make it out of here. They dream, they stopped them in high school. Me and all my we had the same dream going up.
Now I feel it's the appropriate time to get into his involvement in the recent investigation surrounding the murder in question. The departed YNW Sack Chaser and YNW Juvie, they had moved to Miami to join the other members of the collective, and they can be seen in the YNW Melly documentary posted to his YouTube channel.
It's small thinkers where I'm from, so like to be like this, it's crazy.
They love us and hate us, like they happy to see us. They happy to see us when they see us.
On October 26, 2018, 21-year-old Anthony Williams, aka YNW Sack Chaser, and 19-year-old Christopher Thomas Jr., aka YNW Juvie, well, they were shot and killed in what initially appeared to be a drive-by shooting. Now, they were both last seen at about 3:20 in the morning in Fort Lauderdale. A Jeep Compass arrived at Memorial Hospital, Miramar, around 4:35 in the morning with a missing rear window. Now, the Jeep, it contained Borland in the driver's seat, delivering his friends who had attained multiple gunshot wounds. The victims were shot in the head, the torso, and the back. Now, this is part of the story that coincides with the headlines you've likely read about the men driving around with dead bodies. Now, Cortland Henry, he told police that the three, they had just wrapped up at the studio, and after pulling off the freeway, a car pulled up on his driver's side and opened fire. YNW Melly, he was not at the hospital in the early morning, and the two victims, well, they were sadly pronounced dead on arrival. Now, Melly, he took to Instagram to make an announcement of the tragedy, where he wrote, "They took my brothers from me over jealousy. I know y'all watching over me." Now, we got a bit of backstory. YNW Melly, he was part of a collective with his longtime buddies, ones he grew up with, and they were his support system both in the recording booth and on the streets.
My day on,
So then when I walk in the kindergarten room, I see him, then he just started smiling and dancing, so it just made me happy. Now I want to be here.
YNW Melly and Juvie, they grew up together in Gifford, Florida, and they became close while attending school together, getting into trouble and at one point even burning down a forest behind his house. As for Sack Chaser, well, Melly went as far as tattooing his late friend on none other than his face. In fact, Mele has a tattoo of both Sagchaser and Juvie's names, both on his forehead and his neck respectively. Also part of the crew was previously mentioned Cortland Henry, whose stage name of course is YNW Bortland.
Next we have Cortland Henry.
On February 12th of this year, Cortland Henry, he was arrested and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 2 counts of accessory after the fact. The next day, Mele, he took to social media to announce that he would be turning himself into authorities. In a post he wrote, "To all my fans and supporters, no, I did not get locked up in Washington, but I'm turning myself in today. I want you guys to know I love you and appreciate every single one of y'all. A couple months ago, I lost my 2 brothers by violence, and now the system wants to find justice. Unfortunately, a lot of rumors and lies are being said, but no worries, God is with me and my brother YNW Bortland, and we want y'all to remember it's a YNW family. I love you, YNW Sagchaser and YNW Juvie. Hashtag free us." Well, fans were torn and did not know what to think of the revelation. Miramar police, they took to their Twitter page to make their point of view known. They stated, "Jamal Demons, aka YNW Melly, and Cortland Henry, they have been arrested and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. The victims, Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas Jr., were killed on 10/26/2018. The investigation, supported by forensic evidence, has concluded that Demons shot and killed Williams and Thomas Jr., and that Demons and Henry staged the crime scene to resemble a drive-by shooting." On February 25, 2019, court documents were made public revealing that police got a hold of phone records that proved that Mele was in fact at the scene of the crime. The documents also reference autopsy reports and crime scene details that it is believed that Mele was the one who shot his friends from inside the car, and that the 8 bullet holes that came from the right side of the vehicle were subsequently planted as a way to misdirect law enforcement. Now, there was also surveillance footage found that showed that the 4 friends were leaving a recording studio together and they got into the same vehicle. Mele, he got into the back left seat. Now, according to police, after the victims were shot, well, Mele and Bortland, they drove around with the dead bodies for a while. That's before Mele exited and got into another car, and Bortland finally took them to the hospital. Police also revealed that a .40 caliber shell was found inside of a white bag on the floorboard where Mele was sitting, which contradicts the rapper's claims that it was a drive-by shooting. Now, to make matters more suspicious, a Snapchat conversation surfaced between Mele and his girlfriend just 2 weeks after the murders took place. One of the messages from Mele, in which he references Bortland, it read, "This dude saved my life, he coming everywhere with me because of them crackers, come grab him, it's my fault, you forgot. I kept Bortland with me because at the end of the day, he did one of the realest shit in my life." At this point in time, and until they have a proper trial, well, it's hard to say with concrete evidence what really happened that night. But there has also been some questionable behavior from the rapper. In particular, an interview with Genius where he breaks down the lyrics for Murder on My Mind. There's a clip from that video that has since gone viral and had many people questioning the rapper's innocence. In the clip, the rapper stutters when he attempts to say, "I'm not no human murderer," but instead, well, this is what came out.
"And I murdered a bee. I am not no human murderer."
Mele is now considered a suspect in another murder case, the 2017 shooting of Deputy Gary Chambliss. This took place back in Gifford, Florida. Now, an unnamed source, they claims that both Mele and Bortland, they were standing in a group when someone in that group threw a bottle at a passing car, making the car's driver start shooting. Now, allegedly, one of the rappers, he fired back at Chambliss, who was not involved in the altercation, but was hit and killed by a stray bullet. And this was 170 yards away. Now, at the end of the day, these are not the types of stories I get excited about reporting. These kids, they had everything in front of them. They had fame, they had fortune, they had recognition, and they were doing it all with their childhood friends. I mean, what else could you ever ask for? Now, I hope this is all one big mix-up, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. As for the rest of the story, well, we'll try our best to keep you updated both here and on Famous News, and we'll just see how things played out. My name's Michael McCrudden. We have other videos on this channel. Of course, you know what we do here. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another video. Boom!